What's up? This your man Dre Mac. On this video, I'ma ask the question: did Black Panther create KIVU'MA? Dog, y'all gotta get ready for this episode. But the real question is, so today we start off Black Panther number 6. Of course, you already know we covered number 5 last month, and we had the introduction of KIVU'MA. So now, or KIVU'MA, let me just say it like that. So now we're getting into a little bit of backstory to find out actually where KIVU'MA comes from. Now, one thing that I do like about the writing of Eve Ewing is that she's pulling a lot of context from different, I would say, genres, eras, and everything. And in here, it's nothing different. We're getting a backstory. We're starting to get some of the characters. We're starting to understand exactly how all of this fits in the Black Panther mythos. So this starts off in a factory, and we see the foreman come in, and you see this lady who comes in to say, hey, look, all these quotas that you're trying to do, that you're trying to get us to do, this is completely impossible to get done. And you see the foreman just, I'm talking about backhand wapak, you know what I'm saying? I mean, even the smack got smacked, you know what I mean? So he smacked this lady, right? I'd rather have somebody who can be able to meet these goals instead of you know what I mean? So everybody just get back to work. I don't care who it is, you know. So the guy goes in, the foreman goes into his office, you know, talking about, I wish they just had some gratitude about what we're doing around here, you know what I mean? I'll just send them to the authorities if they're not doing what I got to do. So he gets on the phone. Of course, this is in early times too. This is before World War I. And this is actually before King T'Challa. You know what I'm saying? Who was King Azuri at the time, another former Black Panther who was the father of T'Challa, which is Black Panther's great grandfather, or his, well, actually T'Challa, his grandfather. So we're getting this story here, and then Imteli, who we talked about last week on the channel, he has been in comics, but he was not mentioned. It was an unknown Black Panther. Now we're getting his story. Eve Ewing is allowing his story to actually flourish in this story, which I absolutely love. And I know a lot of people have problems, you know, kind of with the storytelling when it backs up and it takes away from the main character. But in this particular story, you actually need it because you need the context. Where did KIVU'MA come from? How was the origins? Where did it all of this start at? And this is what Eve Ewing is getting us. So we hear him, you know, say, Zana, I need you to head back here to the porter tonight and bring me in. Bam! Black Panther comes through. You know what I mean? So Black Panther slides through here, busts through the glass, you know, and he was telling them, so I think you think it's cool to find the light, you know, in the vulnerable, in the weak, you know what I mean? So he was like, I'm going to return the favor, and smacked him claw first into his face, you know, claw first. And then you see this excellent shot, beautiful shot of King M'Telly, you know, the Black Panther, the king of Wakanda at this time. And of course, this is just outside of Burning Zana about a century ago. He's notifying the Hatu-Zorazi, and now he's saying, I want to exert myself. I have other friends who will be thrilled to meet you, and Captain Ndozi. Now, Captain Ndozi, you'll find out, is a member of the early Hatu-Zorazi. You know what I mean? So he was letting them know, hey, you may proceed, you know, to go in here and capture this foreman. But we start to find out that he's a little zealous in the way that he is approaching things. You know, so he goes in, he's shooting his gun, everybody head out, everybody head out now, you know what I'm saying, hands on your head, everybody. And he was like, Captain, lower your weapon immediately. And then the king had to step in, yo, chill, bruh, chill on this one, you know what I mean? And he says, you know, the comment folks is like, yo, it's the Black Panther, we're actually in the Black Panther here. And he's letting them know, hey, the foreman is bound upstairs. That's who you need to deal with, you know. And Ndozi is like, hey, certainly your highness, but I have these invaders not only committing crimes against the nation, you know what I'm saying? And he's like, look, they're doing evil stuff. I gotta act. So the king is trying to tell Ndozi to calm it down. Just chill. Just for a minute. Chill out. You know, you don't have to do this. You got these guns blazing, everything. These people are still civilians. And he was like, but have not invaders not only now also committed crimes against our nation? So he's questioning the king. King Metelli is looking at him like, yo, I know you're not questioning me in front of these people. You know what I'm saying? And I get it. He's saying, look, they're disrespecting our borders, they're contaminating our water, you know, all of this stuff, you know, and we need to protect the people, you know. And this guy has created something where it's, you know, they're drinking poison, you know. And King Metelli had to look, hey man, I'm the law around here, you know, I am the rule of law. I handle this. Don't overstep your boundaries, Ndozi. And he was like, you know, of course, your highness, you know. And he got everybody out. And again, this is good storytelling. This is the reason why. It's because if you're trying to figure out the things of the past, well, those things do have to be shared. You know, those things have to be talked about. There's so many times in storytelling where you will have a main character where something happens or somebody from the past comes back, and the past is not really, is hinted to, but it's not in full totality. And in this, we're getting in full totality what has happened with Ndozi, Mese. We're getting all of it. We're getting an extreme deep dive into what is going on here and how this connects to KIVU'MA. Ndozi feels defeated. You know, he's at the water and he knows this water is poison. He doesn't feel like that the king is listening to him. You know, and he was like, hey, we've been knowing each other since we was kids. But you just have to you have to understand where I'm coming from on this one. You know, they're not only poisoning me, they're poisoning the people. And he's strongly for the people, which makes sense. That makes sense. But Metelli is still letting them know, hey, there's a hierarchy that you got to go through. You know what I mean? He's like, we've been knowing each other since birth, though. Like, you know, I understand you want me. We have to investigate this thoroughly. And Ndozi is not fitting. No, I don't want to hear that. I want to go after the people who's doing real things to us inside of Wakanda. That's what I really want. You know, and they're having this discussion, and some of the Hatu-Sarazi see King Metelli, who takes off his mask, you know, just hanging out. You know what I'm saying? Looking like Action Jackson by the mustache, you know what I mean? But they're having this conversation, and in the midst of this conversation, they're like, hey, you know, I believe the captain is going to be awarded with the circlet of boss, you know, and this is a very high award that I believe the king is going to have. And they're talking about that. He was like, look, the captain earned it. Everything he has done, you know, he's most definitely a shoe-in to win it. Oh boy. It's almost like I'm a shoe-in to win player hater of the year. He really thought he was they thought, hey, he's a shoe-in to win it, but we're going to get to that point in a minute. King Metelli said something important in this, and I want to read this to you. He said, our land and ancestors, morals and essential, are essential to Ndozi. They are also malleable and plentiful. He was like, so the ancestors and the morals of this land is, trust me, you got to be on board with this. We're here. We're here for you, but we have to keep in mind of our ancestors and what the morals of our civilization is about. We just can't go around just harming and killing people. We can't do that, you know. And in this, Ndozi gets up, you know, and starts to say, you know, who deserves our protection, Metelli? Those foreigners are on water from which our life is sustained. And he's making excellent points. It's not what he's It's not the passion that he has for the Wakanda people. It's the way that he's going about it that, you know, is blinding him right now. He said, you are too wise for these false binaries, old friend. He said, no, I am simply a man, my king, and regrettably old-fashioned. And he said, back in the day, we would have went ahead and we would have whooped these guys up. You know what I'm saying? But I can't do what I got to do, so I'm going to do what I got to do. So in this, you actually don't hear from Ndozi. In this, you're actually hearing from the queen at this time in the text bubbles. And you see what Ndozi is doing right now. He went to go see the foreman. He got a bottle of that green stuff. If that's the water, then I actually blame the king on that one. Because you got to make sure that that water supply is good. I don't care how much vibranium you have, that the people are getting sick, they're, you know, losing whatever, you got a problem. In this, you know, he said, it was alarming, my love. And this is a conversation between Metelli and the queen. He said, I have never shied away from violence, but Ndozi relishes in it in the name of certain righteousness. So he's saying, look, this guy is so overzealous that he'll thrive. He'll relish in violence. I can be violent, but I don't choose to be that violent because I believe in peace and I believe in handling business without, you know, exerting myself so much, which is absolutely wonderful and good in this scene. So you go back and you're in Bernanzana now at the royal chambers, and you'll hear the queen says that he is a Zalot, Metelli, pure and simple. His Wakandan is just an impossible one, a place of myth from a time that that never was you choose not to see. You know, just and then they're playing this particular game. It look like it's like a game of chess, you know. And she was like, look, just like you didn't see this defeat that you about to get. And so he's holding baby T'Challa. Now, baby T'Challa is aka Chanda, aka Azuri. Azuri the Wise. This is the story of the Black Panther and Captain America in the 1940s. This is who this is at this particular time. So now we know the lineage. We know that T'Challa's father was Metelli. T'Challa birthed T'Chaka. T'Chaka birthed T'Challa. So now we have the lineage now. We understand what's going on. We understand that the Black Panther is a mantle that goes through the family lineage. It's royalty, you know. So all of his royalty, it dates back to 1 million BC. It dates back to Bashinga, all of these particular people, you know. And the queen in this, so you have Metelli the king, you know, who was T'Challa's father, and then you have Mandela, who is the queen, the mother of T'Challa. So again, this is great backstory. This is to get us a full understanding now of the lineage and how important it is for you to serve the people, because I don't think that's been stressed enough that T'Challa right now is among the people and burning T'Chaka so he can better yet serve the people when he gets back to his kingship. Now, for me, would I like him to be king tomorrow? Yes. But if there's a solid buildup and it makes sense, you know, then I'm all for it making sense. And I know people is like, hey, we got to get him on this throne quickly. And I absolutely get that. But if we're getting a good story and it will make sense, and then now that he's ascended to this and he knows what has went on with the past, once he confronts KIVU'MA and he understands that the people are important, he can be able to tear down that democracy and rebuild the kingdom of Wakanda in his own image, but a brightly colored image. The Dora Milaje walks in. Your Highnesses, I got to speak to you freely. You know, I just want to let you know that foreman that we got, he's dead. He was found dead in his cell. Now, they start explaining, the Dora Milaje start explaining that they found a lot of poisons in the autopsy. You know, heavy metals, mercury, cadmium, lead, and arsenic. You know what I'm saying? Which arsenic is like, arsenic? I already know who did this. Like, that's not in the water. He said he drank the poison water laced with those contaminants in a tremendous amount. And he was like, thank you, Lieutenant. So the Dora Milaje bounced off. And again, you know, I know the Dora Milaje were introduced in the Black Panther run through Christopher Priest. Now we know that the Dora Milaje goes back with the throne, you know, and again, that is how you world build. That's that world build. This is how Dr. KIVU'MA is allowing us to be like, just to see what it was in the past, to be able to tie the Dora Milaje, kingship, all of this together. And again, they need to get back to this. To me, they need to get back to kingship and all of that. And now that we're starting to understand the things of the past, that'll make it better for the future. That's the way that I feel. So in here is when we start seeing the circle of the boss. You know, it's Wakanda's highest honor. And, you know, remember, Ndoze thought he was going, you know, the Hattusarase thought he was going to get it. Nope. The Minister of Public Health, Dr. I think it's pronounced Alaya King Awe, you know, end up receiving it, you know, and I don't think Ndoze was all right. He was mugging the hell out of them through the whole thing, because dude was like, hey, you all right, Captain? He was like, hush, the king is speaking. And he's pissed. He's pissed because he thought he was a shoe-in for Player Hater of the Year. Now, Metelli goes in. He's looking for Ndoze. And this almost reminds me of in the Black Panther movie when he found out Ninjobu was a traitor to Wakanda. This kind of what it reminds me of. Yet he goes down and he's looking for Ndoze because he got to pay for his crime. He already knew what happened. You know, he didn't even let it be known. But Ndoze was out of there. He was gone, bounce, I'm out. You hear the king say, I never took you for a coward. Ndoze's on a mission. He's on a mission. He was, you know, he was thankful for the gods, and the king thought of him as an enemy, you know, and he was feeling that he did a service by killing this guy because what he did as far as what it means to be the Black Panther. I mean, what it means to take care of the nation, take care of your people. He thought he was doing the right thing, and obviously that wasn't what the king wanted. So he went out to explore, you know, someone teach him the philosophies of the old ways, you know. So he said, I master martial strategy, read and studied tales of our greatest warriors and philosophers. To be swift and armed in justice that Wakanda required to return our country to its greatest foundation, I needed other abilities. So he went out and he said, I heard of rumors, and this is him speaking, that he heard of a shaman who was birthing of the students who whispered the village now feared and loathed his wisdom. So he bows in front of the feet of this shaman, is like, teach me. He said, my master taught me to access a place in the tchalla, the spirit realm of the houses of collected Wakandan memories and the souls of our ancestors, which many have turned their faces. Now, we get to find, if you read Ta-Nehisi's Code's Galactic Empire, this is where T'Challa went to. T'Challa went into the tchalla and, you know, talked amongst the former Black Panthers, the former kings, to find out if he was worthy. He was like, I am king. I'm the king of Wakanda, you know. And that's actually a good run. I recommend you highly read that if you haven't read it. But yes, this is where he's going into. He's going into the ancient realms. He's going to the realms of memories of, you know, the Wakanda's past, and getting information and dwelling in this darkness. And he said, but is the world also not dark and wicked? So he's making perfect sense. He's just going about it the wrong way, but this is what he's asking for. He says there's no undeniable power in the wilderness of our evils, you know. So again, he's making perfect sense. So now Ndoze is now this spirit, you know, which he calls a phantom, but it's like this purple mist spirit, you know, the wolf that stalks in the night devouring his prey is what a wolf is, you know. And you see him in this panel just going around killing foreigners. And if you notice, he's going after the foreigners in the country. You know what I mean? He's going after some bankers. He's going after some people who look like they're out here chopping wood. And he's killing the foreigners. You see, he's not killing Wakandans. You know? So now you're starting to see him come into the village, you know, where he felt like he was disrespected in front of the king, you know. And now he's coming in. And you see King Metelli come in, was like telling the people run and go. And he got this mask on again. This is showing the technology of Wakanda in, you know, in the late 19th going into the 20th century. You know, and I'm placing this around the 20th century of this, the early 20th century. You know, and, you know, I'm merely doing what you were too weak to do, my king. This is him talking now to Black Panther. But again, one thing, and again, you have, if you go back and read Ta-Nehisi's Coast and Black Panther number 22, when, you know, the ancestor was telling them, you're always 2-3 steps ahead. You're always a smart one. You're always, you can't be this smart right now, you know. And this is something that we have starting to see throughout the lineage of Black Panther. Black Panthers, through the lineage, you know, going to T'Challa. They are smart. They're extremely intelligent. And they're master strategists when it comes to combat. They're always a million steps ahead of you, right? And I believe that this is a trait, especially when you go into the ancestral plane. Is basically what the tchalla is a part of the ancestral plane. So you could be able to, you know, cohorse with the ancestors and understands this. We've seen this in the Black Panther movie. You're going to see a more, and I like this. We need to dwell into the ancestral plane and understand what the ancestral plane is asking for. So in here, you know, you see that King Metelli is being attacked. KIVU'MA is like, who's going to be your protector now? Who deserves your protection? Black Panther. Just think that he just, you know, he found out he's Ndozi. He's surprised, but he found out he's Ndozi, and, you know, he's talking all this stuff. Didn't understand that King Metelli was already ahead of him. This is what makes T'Challa so amazing, because not only is it demonstrated with his great-grandfather, his grandfather, his father, and him. Again, this is what this story needs. So know why the Black Panther T'Challa is so incredibly skilled. Well, he got it through his lineage. That is a part of their DNA. They're just master strategists, and it doesn't stop. And this is awesome. So, you know, whenever I would say recast T'Challa, always will recast. You could do the King. If they're talking about bringing Robert Downey Jr. and Scarlett Johansson's Natasha back, you could do the King of Dead storyline. And you have so much material and information to do the King of Dead storyline. But anyway, I digress. He said, I studied you, KIVU'MA. I too bear the wisdom of my elders and reverence in the old ways. Golden moonlight, vervain binds cruel spirits. Now, mind you, this is what T'Challa, when T'Challa faces KIVU'MA, who, you know, is now possessing and we're gonna get to that in a second, who is possessing, but, you know, how is he going to defeat it? Well, he has to know the old ways. He has to know the old teaching. And I'm pretty sure that they will be able to get, you know, this moonlight burning that bounds the evil spirits. But he had to say goodbye to his friend, you know, a childhood buddy that he knows. And it is sad when you have to do that, because he feel like his way is the right way. And I get that. He should feel like his way is the right way, right? Ndozi is in the ancestral plane. He's in the Jalea right now in the ancestral plane, until it was time for him to return from the land of the spirits, you know. And again, Black Panther number 22, excellent story. Just read that. If you don't read anything else, read that Black Panther number 22, and this will make sense. So now we go into present day, Burning T'Challa. Now you starting to see why this particular book took T'Challa and pushed him back for a little bit to tell this story on who created KIVU'MA, how did he come into power, or how did he come to be, and why is it so important for T'Challa to understand the ancestors, to understand the people who came before him. You know, so now he's saying that, you know, I'm back. Guess who's back? Dum dum dum, back again. KIVU'MA. You know what I mean? He's back. He said, I'm not as strong as I once was. No matter, I found a vessel, one whom I could play in his own foolish various. He's going to possess N'Kuzi. And he said, I learned that the Panther is gone. Now, to them, to N'Kuzi and everybody, don't nobody for real know who's the Black Panther. They don't know. They just think the Black Panther is gone. You know, he's not here. That's all he knows. And now that he's possessing Kuzi, it just the sky's the limit. Oh, I can go handle business now. He said, this one has outlived his youthfulness no matter. The path is cleared for me now to roll the Wakandan that is our destiny, strong and pure. Now he wants to reshape Wakanda in his own image. Now, my man, T'Challa is running on the roof. None of Bobby N'Kuzi's guards are at their posts, and surely they are not hiding from the rain. So this is T'Challa talking. You know, he said, now what is this? And again, you know, N'Kuzi's, you know, is just saying the KIVU'MA over and over again. He said, here in burning T'Challa, the city of my father, what a pity there seemed to be a late arrival of every gathering. You know, while he's sitting there, he's investigating this. And that is the end of the issue. Now, people, I'm telling you, there's so much great in this. There's a lot of great in this. I love the fact that they're going back in the past, and we got to learn a little bit more about another Black Panther from the lineage of T'Challa, and why T'Challa is so great when you can connect to these different spirits. We already know that Black Panther is the king of the dead. You know, would he have to go back to the ancestral plane to be able to go talk to his grandfather or his great grandfather from the past? I'm looking forward to that. But guys, what did you think about this particular episode, this particular comic? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Do you want them to do more with the Black Panther character? Put it in the comment section below. Personally, I love good exposition when the backstory makes sense. And now we're going forward and finding out how this ties into T'Challa, and will he ever be able to defeat KIVU'MA, who is now, you know, possess a vessel. So again, what did you guys think? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that bell notification so you never ever miss one of my videos again. Until next time, I'll holler at you guys later. Peace and vibe higher.